Hey there everyone, this is Phantom Celebi, and I wanted to do a video since I haven't done one in a while, and this is a subject that I thought would be kind of cool to do. So, I was watching this video called Steven Universe, an Above Average Mess. Well, the movie, I don't know, I'm gonna put it down below so you guys can see it yourself. It is a pretty well done video, but I would also say there is flaws in the logic in this movie because for some reason they don't seem to put the lore of the series into consideration. I mean, the person who watched it seemed to say that they were a fan of the series, but didn't seem to realize that Peridot, one of the characters in the series, has been known to have struggled with her metal abilities. So at some point they mention, why is it that they, Peridot and Lapis couldn't lift this giant injector from the ground. And I don't think it's just the fact that they couldn't lift it out, which I don't think they actually had the manpower to do so, but I think also it had something to do with the fact that the poison that's on the inside of that injector, any way they would have removed that thing, it would have leaked out and it probably would have hurt everyone around them. So to get this thing out safely, it probably would have been very difficult. So, that's probably why they told Steven, don't do that, because, it's just, it would cause too much damage, and that's what they were more concerned about, because, even Peridot was mentioning this, that poison was seeping into the earth, and it would probably kill all organic life pretty quickly, and she even stated it would probably take up to 24 hours, which I guess was a little bit of a dramatization, because based off of the events of the movie, that poison being injected probably wouldn't have killed everything super instantly, but it has something to do very much with the way the earth works. Basically, someone had said to me, their name is marinara sauce. Funny enough, I love marinara sauce, it's delicious. But yeah, they were saying, why can't, Lapis just clean the poison? And I was saying, I was gonna answer this to them in a comment, but then I was just I mean, I think it'd be easier for me to explain if I were saying it rather than actually, writing it out, because things can be lost in interpretation. But yeah, the way most industrial poisons work, and we're gonna go on a limb and say this is pretty much one of those industrial poisons, but the way a lot of these poisons work is they come into the ground and they seep through. And this stuff seems to be pretty strong because it can instantly mess up anything organic, as we saw as it hit Greg. So yeah, anything organic it touches, it would seep into there and most likely damage everything around it. And we saw that the way it was doing that on the ground as well. It was just kind of spreading out. Kind of very much I don't know, I guess a snake poison? But also kind of any sort of industrial spill you've seen. I mean, there have been documented things where people have had poison seep into groundwater and the poison stood into the water and then people got sick. So imagine that, being some sort of crazy space version of that. And it full on stays into the earth. So even if she removed a lot of this poison from the ground, we don't actually know, for one, if that's water-based, because her powers have been entirely based off of flying and water. So we don't know if that poison is water-based. We don't know if she takes the ocean water and removes it, it won't just seep into the ocean, still damaging the earth. And we don't know if this stuff would be, basically would have worked out for them just doing it on their own. So this is an idea I thought about, which I didn't think about when I first watched this movie, but it kind of bugged me that I didn't think about this, and it would have been a much better solution than what they did in the movie. But I guess I'm not gonna write that off, because I saw the movie a few times now, so I just thought about this after watching it a couple of times. So, and I like it because I like the overall feel of it. I think it's actually a pretty good movie, but there were flaws in it, I'm not gonna lie. For one, I don't like the way the diamonds were, I guess I don't like the way that they were written. They were written very much secondary, sort of, pouty, dowdy characters. They weren't exactly the strong characters they were projected as in the series. If they were more strong throughout this entire movie, I would have probably loved them more. Like, this is something I was gonna say to marinara sauce, but I was like, you know, it'd be better to do this in a video. So I thought to myself, why didn't they just have the diamonds help them? I mean, it would have given them more of a role. Maybe they didn't have the budget for it, but like, because I mean, all those voice actors I think are actually like full-on real legit musical people or something like that. I don't know. I think they're actually from other things, but like, if they would have had the diamonds help them, or at least even Yellow, because I was gonna say, you know, I'm pretty sure Yellow dealt with stuff like this before, considering her whole specialty was war. So I would assume that any sort of war-based machinery would have been good for her. So she probably would have even known how to get the injector out of the ground safely and get it out of harm's way. Full on just removing the thing. And who knows, maybe the movie could have been done a little differently. So, like, afterwards, we would just have to be dealing with the poison that's seeping around. And getting Steven's abilities back would... Basically, getting Steven's abilities back wouldn't just be him trying to remove this injector from the ground, but more along the lines of the effects of the injector, which would be this poison. So, the poison would still be in the ground. Like, no joke, even if they removed the injector from the ground, there was still a significant amount of poison in the ground. So, my thought is they could have made the movie not just him trying to get his things back so that this girl could get the injector out, but more along the lines of them getting the memory back so that, you know, Steven can actually heal. And he could have found out all this stuff about Spinel still, because a lot of this has to do with his mother, because all this happened because of his mom. And truth be told, I think people are pretty harsh on Rose Quartz, considering I think she did things with the best intentions at heart. And truth be told, I don't think that, like, even though she abandoned Spinel, I don't think Spinel was a rational, sane character to begin with. I mean, even before then, she was way too attached to Rose Quartz. And she was very, like, when Rose Quartz was pink, she didn't exactly treat her like a best friend. Like, if you actually look at the story, she had a very toxic relationship with her and didn't even seem to put into consideration that okay, maybe she just didn't know, but like, if you see someone who visibly looks sad, like, instead of trying to cheer them up, why didn't she at one point even just ask her what's wrong? She probably would have found out sooner that Pink had lost her best friend, which was the Pink Pearl, because we know for a fact that this happened when Pink Pearl was replaced with our Pearl. So we would have had the assumption that, yeah, she would have viewed Spinel as a person she can rely on, but Spinel wasn't even thinking about what she was doing. Spinel has had a history of doing things without thinking and being a horrible person. And truth be told, the way that they wrote her, it does kind of seem like from the very beginning that Spinel has had a mental, you know, instability. Like, she even said when she had gotten all her memories back and everything that she didn't know why she was doing some of the stuff she was doing. A lot of it seems like a very spiteful thing to do. If somebody hurts you, you want to hurt everyone around them. That's kind of a disgusting thing to do. I know that she's a fan favorite, but like, she's such a mixed and complex character. I mean, I like her because I think that she's a very good villain. Like, because at the end of the day, there is no redeeming Spinel. Spinel never got redeemed. Like, people can say she got redeemed, but she didn't. Like, she did something horrible, and then she got a new person that she's going to be with, which she never actually paid for what she had done and learned from it. No, she didn't. She felt what she did was right, and based off of the actions of the fandom, they think that what she did was right too, in a sense. You know, killing everyone around somebody just because they don't want to be with you is pretty messed up. it's a very messed up way of viewing things. And I mean, you could state that, you know, maybe her mind got messed up because she had been there for so long, but based off of the flashbacks, Spinel didn't seem like she was an alright character even when she was originally hanging out with Pink. She didn't seem sane. So, that's just how I feel about that. And I think that, like, the movie probably would have had a better feel to it if they would have had the diamonds be a good focus for it, and made the whole thing about trying to fix the Earth because now there's some sort of poison inside of it, and they're just trying to fix that. So, like, they probably would have gotten, like, most of the injector out, and more of the poison wouldn't have seeped into the Earth, and it wouldn't have been, at the end, Steven kissing a bunch of things. But I think the reason they did it this way is because it's going to have an effect in Steven Universe Future. Like, I think that the items that are in the background of Steven Universe Future, the intro, is things that Steven kissed. Because if you recall, like, when Steven spit on the pumpkin seeds and put them into the ground, like, they full-on became pumpkin creatures. So I think that that cactus thing is most likely Steven, like, one of those things that Steven kissed. I don't know why he would kiss a cactus, but, you know, maybe he kissed the ground around the cactus, and it seeped into the earth, and who knows how that happened, but yeah, so I'm thinking that that's what they were going for, that his, you know, healing ability is going to get messed up or skewed or something, either by this poison or possibly by, like, just Steven's ability being still not so great, because he's still very young, and he's not perfect at everything still, so a lot of the basis on the movie is that he's growing still, and he still doesn't know his full potential and his full abilities, and the whole point of the basic ending was that everything's about change. I just feel like certain things could have been swapped out and changed just a little bit, instead of having Peridot and Lapis full-on panicking for most of this time, trying to keep track of what things were doing, and then having Steven do all this stuff to get the other gems' memories back. It shouldn't have been the focus on the injector itself, but more along the lines of trying to get their memories back so that they can find out more to get Steven's abilities back, which would have still put the focus on Steven, and maybe a better way to resolve the solution without full-on contaminating the Earth with now what seems to be creatures created by Steven. Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. You know, like, when it comes to the writing for this, I think that, like, maybe if they would have put a better emphasis on what made the diamond strong, it would have been better. But, I mean, I'm not an expert on writing. I am not a writer in general. I did try writing for a bit, but I think that, like, I'm not perfect at it. But yeah, I think what would have been better is if they would have made the diamonds a better role in the movie, and made them an actual focus rather than just a plot device. Because that's what they seemed like. They seemed like, oh, they're craving attention, and that's where Spinel is going to go to, because she needs someone who will constantly love her. And to be honest, I don't know, that to me seems like a cringy character. I mean, I know I like the songs that Spinel had made for the movie, and I think that, like, Spinel's character overall is actually refreshing, because there are so many characters that have been redeemed, and the fact that there is a character that'll never be redeemed is pretty cool, in my opinion. Like, because it's a very human concept that even if somebody does something wrong, they'll never see what they did as wrong. And even if they do slightly see it as wrong, it still doesn't change what they did. That's kind of what's cool about Spinel. She's never, ever, ever going to be okay. And at the end of the day, even if emotionally they work through things, it's not gonna change what she did. She pretty much tried to kill all humanity just because she needed a friend. And that's not exactly a cool thing. I know a lot of people from the Steven Universe fandom are gonna hate me for this, but I just think that that could have been written a little better. I mean, I'm not an expert in all of this, but based off of the series and what I do know about Earth and stuff, I think that, like, this kind of situation could have been done better. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end this here. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, comment, and subscribe for more spastastic content, and I will see you in the next one. Peace! Goodbye! It's time once again for the Phantom Squad top tier. These are for the people who are awesome sauce. And I know that you guys have heard this every single time you've seen my video, but to be honest, I feel like these people definitely do deserve the appreciation and love and respect that I give them, because they have been there for me throughout everything. They are my friends, they have supported me through Patreon and all that, and I appreciate it. The fact that I'm going over 200 subscribers now and really developing my channel really does touch me, because it really does make me feel like you guys care. So continue watching, and if anything, like, I will update this at some point, but these are the people who have been true blue there for me throughout everything. And the few that are bigger YouTubers, they've actually been very supportive to me in the past. They've talked to me, they've done all this stuff, like Veggie Gamer and Base Shaman. They've been very sweet with me, giving me advice, doing things with me. They really, I think the two of them have been very good to me, and that's why they're on this list. So here's to you, Jazz the Chameleon, Potato _ a bunch of numbers, Edie Rose 23, Cute Girl Sim, Calorie _ Aiken, Malunix5, Carissa Sims, Benjamin GYT, Lovely Laura, Veggie Gamer, Base Shaman, EJ Black Dove, Trippy D, Ray of Sunshine X1, Sonic Jenny, Shifty, Kaleda Sims, Prismatic Simmer, Sims Lena, Stray Shadow Cat, Sims Lita, and Josh CHG. Hope to see you guys in the next video, and if you guys want to keep up with all my endeavors and beyond, follow me on Twitter, and all my social networks will be in the description, and I will see you soon. Peace.